Hi, everyone. How's everybody doing today? Thank you so much for joining us. This is going to be a fun one. I'm sure of it. We've done many a demo for customers, so it's really nice to just do it with a whole bunch of people. Please, in the comments, tell us where you guys are from. What is the weather like? Are you guys excited for the festive season? Um, I'm a Christmas person. I am very very excited. I I drive the people in my life absolutely crazy. So there's no time like the Christmas season. Okay, so we're going to give about 2 3 minutes just to give allow more people to join us. Again, if you do want to tell us where you guys are from, just pop it in the comments. I always love to see where everybody's from because we have people from all over the world. It's really nice to know where everybody's from. Many years. I think if there's one part of the US, if somebody had to ask me where I would want to go, it's Maine, purely because of how rainy it is. So I really want to go to Maine. California. Okay, awesome. So we have snowy and cold. We have Fresno, California, Johannesburg. I'm actually in Pretoria myself in South Africa, so it's just around the corner. Um, yeah, it is currently 5 p.m. in South Africa. If anybody was interested, we have Malta as well. Amazing. Another Johannesburger, Ontario, Canada. Yes, see people from all over the world. What did I say? From Pittsburgh as well. Botswana. That's a new one. I don't think we've had somebody from Botswana join us yet, so that's exciting. It is. We're having a heat wave for anybody who doesn't know. It is currently 36 degrees Celsius. Um, it is extremely hot. It's supposed to have cooled down this week already. It has not. Um, we're holding in there. We're hoping for some kind of relief one of these days. We have somebody from Texas as well, Ottawa. Okay, I think we're about ready to get started. Um, Maybe we give it another minute just so it's a nice round number on 5 past, and then we can get started. Yeah, the heat. Thing is, I used to live in Nelspruit in SA as well, and the heat was absolutely awful. I never thought that I'd experience heat like that again. It's one of the hottest parts of the country, and I think I've met the match. I think I've met Nelspruit's match. It is absolutely terrible this time of year. It hasn't been this hot in a very long time in this part of South Africa, but it's been crazy. Okay, let's hop in and get started. So, just to get started, as we do with every webinar, I kind of just introduce myself. I am the senior sales agent here at the Urban Writers. I've been here for 4.5 years, almost 4.75 years. So I'm basically part of the furniture at this point. I was a professional ghostwriter before as well and during for a little bit, and have written over 272 books at the moment, and I've written for 7 years as well. So my portfolio is quite big when it comes to writing. Okay, next up, we can take a look at our agenda. I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about us as the Urban Writers. Then I'm going to go through how to post your order, the essentials that you need in order to post it, and then how to manage your order after that as well. We also do have a little section that's basically going to give you some tips and tricks on making sure that your order is delivered in a timely manner, you are sticking to deadlines, and basically just best practices when you are working with freelancers. We also will have a Q&A section at the very end. So in the meantime, if you do have any questions as we are going through the webinar, go ahead and pop it in the comments. We will pick them up, and then at the very end, we will go through and answer everything. You will also have a chance at the very end to answer or to ask your questions as well. Now, the Urban Writers as a company was started in 2018 by Natasha and Marco Matinho. We started with a handful of people. We were literally like 7 writers, and we had external editors. Our editors weren't even on the team officially, so it was very, very small. Since then, in the 5 years since the Urban Writers has started, we've grown to over 3,000 freelancers. Well, 5,000 freelancers at the moment. We've written over 1 billion words as well, and we have over 20,000 active customers. And of course, we have gone from only producing books or only writing books to doing everything from audiobooks audiobooks to cover designs, book descriptions, all of that. So it has expanded rapidly. So keep that in mind. Like, we are going to just continue adding everything, adding more products, more features as we go and as we move forward. Now, initiating your project. This is basically where we're going to go through posting your project, and then just adding all of the items that you do need in order to post. There will also be a checklist that we'll be sending through to you the next couple of days, so keep an eye on that. So you'll have the checklist, you can go through everything, check everything off to make sure that you have everything you need in order to successfully post your project. Now, let's go ahead and share my screen. So this is a demo account. This is where we basically show all of our customers how everything works. So let's go ahead and post a project. We can say new project, and let's say we have a romance book. For the sake of this webinar, I am going to only do the writing part of just the writing package. I'm not going to go through the cover designs, the book descriptions, that kind of thing, just for time's sake. However, we do have demos, like we do person-to-person demos as well over Zoom, so you can always reach out and get that scheduled. And we also do have a video that guides you through the entire process. So let's get started with a book writing package to get started with. So we want individual packages. We want to go ahead and click on book writing. You'll see that there are many individual items, but for now we only want the book writing. This will include the writing, editing, and the ebook formatting. Next, we want to do fiction. And then over here, you can choose to either bring your own outline or we can create an outline for you. For the sake of this webinar, I'm going to have the urban writers create an outline for us so that you can also kind of see how that would work. So again, you will, with your outline, you're going to need the title, the subtitle, the word count. Those are the basic requirements that you'd need, the topic slash tropes genre that you want to go with as well. And then on top of that, when you are doing your outline, you need a chapter by chapter detailed outline. So the writer knows exactly what you want and what they can work with. If you have us create the outline for you, that means that you only have to come in with your basic requirements. You can just tell us how many words you want, what your title is going to be, how many tropes you want to have, and then we can go ahead and create the outline for you. Of course, you will be able to view the content the entire time it's being written, and you can work one-on-one with your outliner in order to make sure that everything is going according to plan and your vision is in this outline and it's being brought to life. Alrighty. Next, we can choose the tier of writer that we want. Now, we can go ahead and allow all to request. This means that every tier that we have will be able to view your book and request to work on it. You will be able to see their tier, you will see what it's going to cost, and you can view their profile from there as well. Next, we do have the different tiers. Now, in short, as a freelancer joins the platform, they start out as a rising writer, then move up to urban, then top, and then premium. So they have to complete a certain number of orders. They have to have a certain rating, internal and from customers. So they need to have a certain rating in both categories. And then they can move up the ladder to eventually get to premium. So premium is the tier that has the most experience, basically. So if you are looking for experienced writers and you have I believe it's an extra $1.09 to splurge on it, go ahead and get premium. Otherwise, of course, the other tiers are absolutely fantastic. Just because they are in rising does not mean that they aren't good writers. It just means that they don't have experience, as much experience on our platform just yet. So let's go with premium. Here you will see the basic requirements that we need from you. So we can choose the word count. It is very important to note that the word count can still be altered at a later point. So if you're not 100% sure and you want to get the writer's feedback first, we can definitely go ahead and alter it for you at a later point, send an invoice for the additional X number of words, and then adapt it accordingly. However, most of the time for a romance book, you're going to look at about 70 to 120,000 words, depending on how large you want the book to be. But 70,000 words is a proper book. If you want something shorter, like a novella, you can definitely do 20 to 25 or 20 to 30,000 words. You can even go as low as 10,000 words. But just to keep in mind, that is going to be a very, very thin book. It's literally going to be like 30 pages. So the word count, you can work with about 300 words per page. So if you want to rather work with page count, work with 300 words a page. That way, you know, okay, a 70,000 word book is going to have 70 to 80 pages. Oh, sorry. You're going to have about 200 to 300 pages, basically. Now we can choose the writing style. For romance, first person is very, very popular. Third person is a little bit rare, but it definitely doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It just depends on the kind of feel that you want the book to have. So you can choose between third and first person. Then we can select a genre. So let's go to romance. And then we can say that is going to be our title. Let's use that as a subtitle as well. And then we can have an author name as well. If you're doing something like erotica, you are going to want to click on a topic is not safe for work and then add a reason why it is. This contains erotic content. So that's basically if you are doing eroticas, that is what you want to click, just so the writers are also 100% sure that they're comfortable doing this kind of book as well. Next is may contain sensitive or triggering topics. This can include abuse, it can include substance abuse, even anything that can trigger mental illness, even anything that can trigger somebody else. Go ahead and click that as well. Just again to make sure that our writers are safe, and if anything could be triggering, we do make sure that they are taken care of as well. This also does give us a little bit more insight on what you want in the book itself. So let's unclick these two and let's move forward. You can then choose your editing style. Essential editing is your basic editing. This is included in your writing package by default. It is included in the price. The other option is line editing, which is an advanced version of essential editing. Basically, essential editing is going to cover your basic issues such as spelling, grammar. It's going to do syntax errors, punctuation, and any inconsistencies that the content might have, or that the writer may have missed at some point. Line editing does a deeper dive into this content. So it's going to go through the flow and consistency of the book itself as well. Any redundancies, they're going to get rid of wordiness, they're going to clarify the meanings and make sure that everything is coherent as well. So I usually do recommend going with line and essential editing, especially if you're maybe not a native English speaker or you're not a writer yourself. Go ahead and get the line editing add-on. It is definitely worth it. Then we can continue. Now, this basically is our AI policy. This is how much approval you're basically going to give us. Now, in short, all of our writers use a writing tool named Dibly Create. This is also available for anybody to subscribe to. It is an absolutely wonderful tool, and it has AI integration that can assist you with marketing research, with creating a book description, helping you with an outline, even. And then our writers can also use the tool KIP inside of the actual document itself. So if they need any research done, KIP can actually assist. That KIP also checks for grammar and spelling, and can reword certain sentences as well. So no content is actually being written by KIP, but you can go ahead and just like get research done, that kind of thing. So here you can say, okay, I want the freelancer to be able to use AI to adjust the tone or phrasing or even the style of the content. You want them to be able to use it for research and brainstorming purposes. So, for example, they can say, okay, if you came to us and you said, okay, I want a book like Me Before You, I want a book also like A Throne of Glass, for example. Our writers can then go into Kip and ask Kip, hey, listen, ideas based on these two books, how we can merge it, and then they can basically brainstorm together. So you can go through all of these options and click whatever you want. If you are not if you are not comfortable with the usage of AI, that is perfectly fine. You can just click on freelancers are not allowed to use AI at all. This means that KIP won't even be activated for them. And then this is also for the outline. So you have one section for outlining, one section for the writing. So here again, you'll be able to choose whichever one you want to go with or not allowed at all. This is managed services. Now, this is not going to be active for all customers. This is still in beta, basically. So this just basically means that order for you instead of you having to manage it on your end. So we can go through this as well. Basically, supported is basic management. This will literally just be our team saying, okay, this is a short list of freelancers. We can also assign a writer for you, and you'll have your chat will be have priority as well. Guided is a little bit more hand holding. So we'll be able, if you have a bundle, for example, we'll move it from one stage to the next, where in general you'd have to do that. You will also have a Zoom call. It is optional, but you can also have a Zoom call with your personal project manager with this item specifically. And then turnkey is literally giving you a hands-off experience. So if you don't want to be involved in the order at all, you can go with turnkey in that case. So if you are at all interested in managed services, do just reach out to us. You can always reach us at sales@theurbanwriters.com, and we'll take you through the process and guide you through the different steps on how to get this activated and to put you in touch with a project manager. And then once this does load, we need to select one. There we go. Um, Here we can then go through quality assurance. This literally just means that it will have an additional check where an editor will go in and do quality assurance basically. So they'll make sure that the quality is coherent, whereas in general you'd have to do it. If there are any if there are any discrepancies between the outline and the content itself, they will pick that up too. They will make sure that the content actually matches the audience, and they will give you a complete report on that as well. Next up, we will check on quality control. Now, usually, when you do traditional publishing, you have multiple editors that go through your work. With our writing, there's only one editor that goes through everything. So usually a quality control review is definitely beneficial because that means that a second editor will go through the content and make sure that everything is 100%. Reason why multiple editors are a good idea is because some people might miss something, other people might miss something else. So together, nothing will be missed, basically. You get very used to your own mistake. That is why we don't deliver any content that's just been written. It is always edited. So if you want to have that extra layer of comfort, basically, if you just want to be comfortable with your book and want to make sure that it is ready to publish and you don't want to have to go through everything, go ahead, get quality control review. It is definitely worth it as well. And then over here is your project overview. So you can see how much it is going to cost. You can see the book writing and everything that you added. You can always edit it and you will see your outline. And then you can see if you do have managed services activated, you will see this option as well. Most of you will not see this option. And then if you have a discount code, you can add that over here. Also note, only one discount code can be added to a project. We don't, discount codes can't stack. So go ahead and just use the one discount code that you actually want to use. And then we can post our project. And there we go. There it is posted. So let's go ahead and just search for those ones specifically. And you will see that here is the project. Now, you will also see that only the outline package is currently in a new status. New status means that it is visible to outliners to actually request the order. If the order, if it is on hold, nobody can see it. It needs to be in new status. The reason why only the outline package is currently in new status is because the outline needs to be completed first before a writer can start working on your writing package. The outliner and the writer can be the same person. In most cases, that is even preferred, but you can choose to have it done by two separate people. You will see that if once outliners reach out to you, you'll see the different requests here. And if you go through their profiles, you will also see that they'll say, I'm only interested in doing the outline, or I'm interested in doing both, and then you can make your decision based on that. And that is basically it for posting your project. Now I'm going to stop my screen share, and then we can move forward to the next slide as well. Okay, now I believe we're on the next slide over. We're not at this one yet. So if my helper can just move on to or back to the previous page, then we can go through project management. There we go. So in this one specifically, I'm just going to take you through managing your order. So this is going to show you how to go and find freelancers, how you can reach out to them. It's literally just going to show you how to interact and what you can do in your project itself. You can also, if you haven't signed up just yet, you can go ahead and just go to app.theurbanwriters.com, and it's going to take you through to the sign up page. We will also, of course, share the links afterwards, so don't worry about writing it down if you don't have a pen and paper with you, but that is where you can go in order to sign up to the platform and use the platform that I am showing you right now. Okay, so let me share my screen again, and then I can take you through managing your order. Okie dokie. So let's start with your outline package. So we can open that up, and we can see, okay, here we have a bunch of options. We have modify order. So if you click on that, you can still go ahead and add any requirements. You can change your title and your subtitle. The important thing to note is that this is going to disappear as soon as you have a writer assigned. You cannot modify your order once you have a writer assigned because the writer agreed to that specific order. So if you do go ahead and change your requirements, it is not really what they signed up for, and that might delay your project a little bit. We also have the Pay Now feature, which is going to guide you to the payments page where you can immediately pay for it. You can also wait until you have a writer and then pay for your project at that point. So where it says new, it is going to change to waiting for payment. Payment needs to be made before a freelancer can get started on your order. We have add access. So if it's, for example, you and a colleague, you're basically having the book written together. As long as both of you have an Urban Writers platform account, you can give them access to also view this order, give feedback, and it just basically gives both of you access, where in general only you will have access. And then, of course, you can cancel your order as well. Here you have the kind of package that you are currently looking at. Here is your revision count. So at the very end of the writing process, you will get up to 3 chances to request revisions. So the first one is, I believe, 10 days, then 7 days, then 5 days. So you have 10 days to review the content, request a revision. Once those revisions are done, you then have 7 days to review, and then you have 5 days. Here, if you have a project manager, that will show up here as well, and your editor and your writer will also show up here. So they will have little icons that you can click on, and you'll go directly to their profiles. Now we then have the document view. Over here in the document view, this is where you'll be able to view your document. So as soon as the writer is assigned and they're ready to get started, you will have access to view the document from here and then make your comments on the document, chat with them about it. It's a very good thing to keep track of this and to make sure that if you want to go in and check in every day, that is amazing. Just to know that you are on track as the writer is making or as the writer is actually writing your order, you can request changes. So at the very end, they don't have to make large changes. So if you, for example, want to change the main character's name from Betty to Sue, you can go ahead and do that, and then the writer can basically implement those changes. Otherwise, they then have to go through the entire book again and make those changes from the start to finish. So if you do it as soon as possible, they can implement those changes and make sure that everything is coherent from there. You don't have to go back and make sure there aren't any plot holes or anything. It's also important to note that these changes have to align with the initial requirements and the approved document or the approved outline. So for the outline specifically, it is a little bit more flexible. So you don't have to specifically have an approved outline from the get-go. I'm going to work with the writer and then brainstorm from there. So it is a little bit more flexible, but when you do get to the writing part, it is important to just stick to your requirements. Any additional changes will incur an additional cost. Then we have the chat. So over here, you will be able to chat with the freelancer assigned to your order as well. So people who have access to this will be the customer, so that would be you, the writer, and the editor, as well as the admin team. So those are the people that can actually view your project. Now, with a plot outline, so this is for fiction, we do include a developmental editor as well. So you will see in an outline for fiction books, a developmental editor will be added as well. So you can choose who you want to work with. Same as when you're posting your order and it's in new status, writers can request to work on your order. You can accept whoever you want to work with. The writing gets done, and once you've approved the writing, it goes into another form of new status for editors, and it just says waiting for editor, and that's their version of the new status. They can view it, they can request it, and then you can accept who you want to work with from there. You can edit, you can then suggest changes, and you can work together from there. That is only available in the plot outlines for fiction. It is not available for non-fiction books because non-fiction books don't have plots. The developmental editor literally goes in, makes sure there aren't any plot holes. The character development is there. There's world building. They basically go through the entire thing with a fine comb to make sure that everything is solid and there's basically a solid foundation for the writer to work with. Then you have your order details. So over here, if you look at upload file, if you have any specific files that you want to upload, maybe you have an outline that you've already worked on and you want the outliner to use some of that and refine it a bit, maybe just get ideas from it, you can go ahead and upload it here. You can just click on it, it's going to open your files, and then you can choose whatever item you want to upload from there. And of course, you can just review any requirements from here as well. Then we have shared files. Basically, again, if you have any files that you want to share, maybe you have an idea for your main character, what you want them to look like, you can add that here. So you can send them a photo. You can, even if you want to do a drawing of something, there are maybe magical symbols somewhere. This is where you can go and add any images, any documents as well. And this is basically the exact same. It's the exact same way for writing, for editing, for your cover designs. You will be able to choose who you want to work with. You'll be able to view the document. You can chat with the freelancer. You can always upload more files. Again, as long as everything aligns to the initial requirements, you can go in and ask for revisions as well. Now, there are two options for actually getting a freelancer. You can A, post your project and wait for freelancers to reach out to you and then accept their requests from there. Or you can go in and search for freelancers manually yourself as well. Let me quickly show you how to do that. So what we want to do is on the left side, we want to pop over to freelancer management, and then we want to select search freelancers. This will give you access to the entire database of freelancers that we have, where you can then go in and select certain niches, tiers, and positions even to make sure that you are getting results for the people that you actually want to see. So we're looking for a writer. For a tier, we want premium because that is the project that we posted. We want, let me see, outline collaboration because that is currently what we this is the project that we want an outliner for. So click outline collaboration if you're looking for a writer for your outline. And then we want romance. So let's go to romance. Let's say we want it to be we want it to be a fantasy romance, and we also want it to be, let's see, we want it to be funny. Where is comedy? There we go. Now we can apply. And this is going to give you all of the people that have all of these niches ticked, that are premium writers, that do outline collaborations, and people that are actually writers. So here you can go in and you can view all of the different profiles. You can see their ratings as well. So let's just choose a random person. Let's go with Clay, just the first person that popped up. Now, once this loads, there we go, you will be able to view their profile. So here you can add them to your favorites. You can see the tier that they're in, and then you can go in and you can see their little profile picture, background image, their reliability score. So this is when they're actually delivering online on time, the amount of extensions that they've requested, that kind of thing. So this writer specifically has a 100% reliability score. They also have 5 stars with customers. So everything that's in orange is for customers, and this is internal reviews from editors. So you'll see that there are many more reviews from editors than there are from customers, because customers are not required to leave reviews, where editors are. Then you have other options. So you can say, okay, you can invite them to join your team. You can invite them to your project specifically. So you want to invite them to the project that you currently have. Click on invite to project. There you can select the project that you want to invite them to. And then here are 2 options. So you can invite them to request your order. This means that this is going, if they click on accept, they're going to be redirected to your order, and they can go through your requirements. And if they're happy and they want to continue with it, they can request to work on your order. So that request is going to come through the exact same way as all of the other requests. Then there is another option, invite to start now or to schedule. So if this writer then accepts your project, they will automatically be assigned to your order, and they will be able to schedule the order in advance if they need to. You will be able to see on their profiles when they are available. So you'll see that this writer specifically needs to be scheduled in advance. So that means that if she does accept to work on your profile or your project, she is going to schedule it. So this means that they can schedule it a week in advance or 2 weeks in advance. So just chat with them beforehand as well, just to make sure that you are both on the right page. Again, this is going to automatically assign them. So if you have any other requests, this is going to automatically get rid of those requests and decline any of them. So basically, if you go in and you invite 5 people to work on your order, the first person to accept is going to be the first person assigned. Okay, then we have to send a direct message. So you can message them, so we can open that up and you can say, okay, I see that you are scheduling advanced. Hey Clay, this is I'm so and so. This is my name. I'm having this project done. Please go ahead and check it out. I see that you're scheduling advanced. How far in advance? You can chat with them beforehand and then choose how you want to proceed from there. We then have report users if anything isn't, if they're in any way behaving inappropriately, you can report them, or you can request a sample. So if you're not sure who you want to work with and the samples that you see over here isn't really relative to your specific topic, you can go in and request a sample. So you can give them the requirements that you have for your outline, and they'll write 1,000 word sample for you. So for a premium writer, that is going to be $28 for 1,000 word sample. Samples are not edited, they're only written by the writer. Okay, then we have the project. So here you can see samples. All of these samples are specifically written for their profiles. These samples are not available anywhere else. So if you do see a spelling error here or there, it is only because it has not been edited. And as I mentioned before, people get used to their own mistakes, so they might not see it. So it's not something to worry about. Editors will come in and actually edit their work for you as well. So you can go through it, you can read through it, and of course, if you're not happy with any of it, if you're interested but it doesn't really match your criteria, go ahead and request a snippet or request a sample. They can decline at any point, but yeah, basically just go in and request a sample if you'd like. Then we have an overview and a little get to know me. You can go through all of this. They have a bio. These are the niches and topics that they specialize in. And then you can view their actual reviews as well. So you can see comments that people have left for them. You can see the topic that it was, and then you can also see. So that's for an outline for 70,000 words. This is a writing package for 32,000 words. So you can actually see all of the comments and the criteria that they actually got the comments for. You can also you can basically filter here as well, or you can go to internal reviews where you can then view reviews from editors as well. And that is basically it for finding a writer too. Now, if you are not getting requests on your order, you might want to go in and search for writers as well. Because there are many orders on our platform, an order might get lost. So it's very important to remember that we have thousands of writers. There are going to be writers to work on your book, but you also do need to go in and search for those writers if they're not requesting your order. With something like romance, it is very, very popular. So you are going to get requests, but if you're not getting the number that you are hoping for, or you're waiting a little bit too long, you can go in and search for freelancers manually. The other thing to remember is that people, especially now in the holiday season, writers are going to be taking off. They might not take on new projects. So what you can do is you can reach out to them. They are still online on the platform as well. So if you reach out to them and invite them to your order, they can accept and they can schedule in advance. Okay, now we can go ahead and move on to the next slide. There we go. Now it is navigating the holiday season. Now, for the holiday season, again, it is important to note that people are taking time off, so some projects might be delayed. So, a way to manage it properly is, for example, to allow all writers to request. So, this means that you're not restricting it to only premium or only rising. All tiers of writers will be able to view your order and then go in and request it. So it's instead of having 1,000 writers at your disposal, you now have 4,000 writers at your disposal, based on your topic, of course. But as an example, it really does, it throws a wider net for people to actually see your order. Next is flexible deadlines. Now, where timelines are concerned for writing packages, you can work with about 1,000 words a day plus 10 days. Now, this is very, very rough. It is a rough estimate. Writers, if it's something like a 70,000 word book, a writer might need to take a 2 or 3 day break between the 35,000 and the next 70,000, just to kind of reset, because that is a lot of words. So that is also something to keep in mind. If it's a larger book, it can take longer, longer than the calculated time it might be. So instead of, for example, if it's 70,000 word book, instead of 80 days as we've calculated, it might take 90 days or 100 days even, depending on, of course, the writer themselves as well. Some writers go ahead and just knock out the content. They're just very talented like that. So, of course, it is dependent on the writer, and you can chat with them about it as well. Just keep in mind that with the holiday season, deadlines do need to be flexible. And if you have a specific deadline that you are working with, think about extending that a little bit, just to give the writer enough time to complete it and to give the editor enough time to complete it as well. Again, keeping in mind that they are taking time off. Then we have open and clear communication. I've shown you how to send a direct message. It is important from the get go to chat with them and to tell them, listen, I have a 10,000 word book that I need written. My deadline is the 8th of January, for example. Then they can say, okay, I'll be able to finish it by then, but then the editing needs to be done as well in the meantime. So it might add another couple of days to that. So clear communication is very, very important between you and any freelancer that you are working with. We also do need clear requirements, because if a writer needs to message you and say, hey, so this character and this character and this character, you mentioned them, but what do they actually bring to the book? And you have to give information on that. That is going to delay the project as well. So keep in mind to give us all of your requirements, not just basics, if you're not getting an outline done by us. And then advanced planning and scheduling. Again, as you've seen, some writers do need to be scheduled in advance because they're either taking off for Christmas, or they do have projects they're currently working on, and they need to schedule next projects, their following projects, to start after this project has been done. So a lot of freelancers are going to be scheduling in advance. So do plan around that as well. There are going to be some delays here and there. Again, of course, not all writers are going to delay anything. Not everybody actually celebrates Christmas, or they're not interested in the holiday season. So definitely there are options. If you get the right writer, they aren't going to delay your book. But it is important to note that it might, because again, New Year's, Christmas, all of the holidays coming up. But that's basically it for navigating the holiday season. As long as you keep those tips and tricks in mind, you will be good to go. Just make sure that you aren't sticking to a very, very strict deadline because it does need to be flexible. And you can also always reach out to our customer success team who will be able to assist if there are any issues as well. And you can reach them by emailing support at theurbanwriters.com. Alrighty, so we can move forward with our next webinar, which is very, very exciting. It is going to be on the 7th of December, so it's this Thursday, and it's going to be on marketing. So it would be marketing based on holidays, so specifically holiday themed marketing. It is going to go through optimizing your Amazon listings. So it's going to be amazing. Our host is absolutely fantastic. Is going to do it. So really going to help you increase your book sales as well. So definitely check that out as well. In the comments right now, you will see a link where you can go in and register, but we will, of course, also send through an email where you can go in and register as well. Okay, and then we have our Q&A section next. So we're going to be popping up any messages, any questions that you guys have submitted, and then I can go through and answer them for you. Let me go ahead and actually open that up. Okay. How do I get the information needed to post my project? Now, this is a very good question because a lot of people don't actually understand how to get the information or what kind of information is needed. As I mentioned before, your title, your subtitle, your genre, and your word count, those are the most important things, most important tips, information to actually have. Now, there are multiple ways that you can go about it. You can either outline your book yourself, and then you're going to get those answers by yourself. So as you're outlining, you are going to get those answers yourself, and then you can go and post your project. The other option, of course, is to get us to do the outline for you, where you only need those three topics or those three or four items specifically. The more information you can give us, of course, the better, but that is specifically what we need. Now, you would need to do your own research, your own market research. You need to check how many words bestsellers in that genre has currently, etc., etc. So you do need to do your own research. So the best thing to do is to go to the bestsellers currently, wherever you are going to publish, check out the bestsellers, and then base your requirements off of that. You can also, of course, use Dibly Create to actually get that information as well. So you can use Kip, the little AI helper that we have, to generate that information for you as well. You can generate titles, give you all of the information that you actually need. So, how do I pick the right freelancer? This is also a very, very good question. Um, when we're talking about writers specifically, again, you can go in and purchase the actual samples. So if you're unsure about who to pick, you can go in and actually ask for a sample. You also do need to give them the requirements, and they can message you and talk back and forth on whether they are the right writer for this job or not. So they're very honest about it from the get go as well. When you are chatting with them, it is so easy to just click with a writer like that, and then you have a bond, and that's when you know you have the right writer. If you instantly fall in love with their samples, if you just like the way that they're talking, that means that you have the right writer. So there isn't specifically a formula to follow. As long as you click with a writer or any other freelancer for that, in that case, you can you'll basically have the correct freelancer for that. And of course, because they have the niches ticked, it does mean that they have experience in those niches. Then, how long is my order going to take? Now, I previously mentioned the calculator, basically the delivery calculator. There is also a very handy feature on the platform under tools that says delivery calculator, and that will give you a rough estimate as well as to how long your order might take. So for writing specifically, it can take about 1,000 words a day for the writing, editing, and ebook formatting to be completed, plus 5 to 10 days, depending on how long your book actually is. For other items, such as the outline, you can work with maybe 7 to 10 days. We usually aim to get it done within 10 days, but if there's a lot of back and forth, it might take a little bit longer. With a cover design, it can take a week for you to get your first concept back, and then you can request revisions. So it does depend on the package that you have. So definitely check out the delivery calculator on the platform to see the times that it might take for those items. Okay, and then how involved do I need to be? We recommend being as involved as you possibly can to make sure that the writers are bringing your vision to life. If you're completely hands off, if you sit back and tell them, listen, I want a paranormal romance book like Twilight, that's what they're going to write. And maybe you had a different idea in mind. Maybe you wanted werewolves, more werewolves added. Maybe you wanted fallen angels added instead of vampires. And you didn't disclose that from the get go. And you didn't see, okay, from the get go, the writer isn't really catching your drift. You can go in and you can tell them, listen, this isn't exactly what I want. This is what we need to go through. This is a very important with outlines, to make sure that the outliner is doing it properly, and also with writing. It's very easy to misinterpret writing or any text for that matter. So you're going to want to be involved and make sure that the writer is understanding your outline correctly. So yeah, definitely be as involved as you can. If you're doing managed services, for example, you don't really need to be that involved. But you, in general, you do need to choose your own writer, view the document, approve everything, etc. Okay, and then Eric is asking, can I work on the cover while the manuscript is in editing? Yes, you can. So you can work on, let me just list them quickly. It will be, you can do your writing, your cover design, your book description, not narration, but if you have any illustrations that you want added, you can do that as well. So there are specific items that you can work on simultaneously, but things like the outline has to be done first before anything else can be done. The paperback formatting can only be done once the writing and editing is done. The editing can only be done when the writing is done, and the narration can only be done when the writing and editing is done as well. An important thing to remember about the cover design is that we need the final paperback format in order to adjust the spine. So we need to know, okay, your book is going to be 100 pages, so we know exactly how large we need to make the spine of the cover. So your cover might not be finalized yet, but everything else, the cover itself, the text, everything can be done. But as soon as we have the paperback formatting to determine the page count, we can adjust the spine, finalize everything, and make it available for you to download. Oh, thank you, Susan. Yeah, I'm very happy that it was clear enough for you guys. If you need anything else, anything, if you have any questions whatsoever, please do feel free to reach out to us. I do demos as well. If anybody wants to hop on a call, the team is also fantastic. So if you guys want to hop on call and have basically a one-on-one demo, we can definitely do that as well. But if you say this was clear and informative, that is fantastic. I'm very happy to hear that. Okay, let's see. Let's go through. Maybe there's something else. Just giving a minute or two just to, if anybody else has any questions, please pop that in the comments. Otherwise, we can definitely answer any questions if you reach out to us via email or if you call in. We're more than happy to answer any questions. Sometimes it's just after you've ended a call, and then you remember that you had another question. So definitely reach out to us if that does happen. Alrighty, it doesn't seem like any more questions are coming in. So that is it from me today. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. We will be in touch with that checklist that we promised, as well as information on the next webinar. So do keep an eye out on that. And definitely happy holidays. It's holiday season. I'm so excited. So happy holidays and have an absolutely lovely festive season.